Both of us walk in silence for some time. The only sound we hear are the echoes of our footsteps. I am behind the king, staring at his back. He seems to have already recovered from his earlier injury. Or he could be just pretending that he is alright. How is your back?
It doesn't hurt as much now. Thank you for asking.
Silence ensues once again. This is getting awkward. Maybe I should say something? Should we say something? I'm kind of curious what that something might be. Okay. I cannot stand the silence any longer and speak up before I lose my nerve. Oh, well, this is a good start to something. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Because I've done nothing but cause you trouble. Rod told me once that when I disappeared, the king was the happiest he'd ever been. Because I was not there. I'm sure if you had been given the chance to forget me or not, you would have chosen to forget me. Aw.
No, it feels like I have been the cause of your pain, not the other way around.
Aw.
I feel as if I should be the one apologizing. I have been wondering for a while. If you are indeed my daughter, why do you address me by title? Do you not call me father?
I stop in my tracks and turn away. Well, our dad ain't no dummy. It has been years since I called you that. You were never there for me, so I stopped considering you my father. A deafening silence falls upon us.
I'm sorry.
Well, how is he gonna do that? He doesn't remember, girl. Can you tell me why you distance yourself from me? The king looks at me silently, with something like regret in his eyes. I want to slap myself for my foolish question. My apologies. I forgot that you do not remember me. You know, I have learned many things since I have been cursed, but the things I have learned do not answer my questions. I had thought that by staying here I would finally chance upon some answers, some truth. I have always thought that only Mother loved me because you were never there for me.
I am sorry I cannot give you the answers you seek.
Well, I can understand why you would hate me. I am a witch's daughter, after all.
Hildur, do you know what transpired in the past?
You mean with Mother?
Hildur threatened to kill the person I loved if I did not marry her. She threatened to kill Ophelia.
The king looks down, his face contorted with anger. Parfait said that Mother already broke their rules long before she took over the kingdom. Her hands were already stained with blood.
I won't let any more of my loved ones die in her hands. I had no choice back then. I married her because I refused to let her hurt Ophelia. I hated that woman for ruining my life and my kingdom.
I know. I recall when he thanked Waltz for saving the kingdom. Can you tell me who Waltz is?
Waltz. He was Hildur's apprentice. He was powerful, considered the second strongest among the witches.
Really?
He was a child prodigy. That is why Hildur ordered his family killed when they refused to give him to her. Waltz didn't find out about that until much later.
Holy crap. Waltz, how can you not bear me any ill will? Considering who my mother was and what she did. Ugh. Waltz, you're too kind. Too pure for this world. Mother killed Waltz's family? I cannot believe this. Just how many lives did she take? Let's not forget, Dolores' daughter, too.
When he did find out, he betrayed Hildur. He divulged her plans to the fairies and helped them defeat her. I gave him a copy of the key to the secret tunnels so that he could deliver it to the Lucis bearer.
Ah, so that's why Waltz was looking all sheepish when we asked Rod where he got the key from. So that is how Parfait got the copy of the key.
Then Hildur cursed him for betraying her. I do not know how you two know each other, but it is fairly obvious to me that he is loyal to you and cares about you. He was the type of person that expressed that loyalty plainly, so I can tell.
I do not know why the king decided to comment on such a thing, but my cheeks are suddenly warm.
You care for him.
Do I?
He is a good man.
Why am I talking to my dad about my future boyfriend? Good grief. He's like, I approve of this man as being my heir to the kingdom. If you are truly my daughter, eh? How did we even get to this conversation? The two of us are still walking when the king suddenly stops and I nearly bump into him.
Ah, here we are. This should bring us into a passage that leads into the gardens.
I follow his gaze to a rusty door. He slowly approaches the door.
Stay close to me.
I nod at him. He turns the knob and pulls open the door.
Ugh.
That's... The king and I can only gape at the sight in front of us. It is the last thing we expect to see behind the door. Oh. That door. Mother? Well. The witch and the crystal. Or the witch in the crystal. How close to midnight are we, exactly? I feel that I cannot trust my eyes, because it is indeed Mother standing before us. Yep, there she is again. She looks the same as when I last saw her. Like she's just been sleeping all of this time.
What is Hildur doing here?
Is that the Crystalum Tenebrarum? She looks like she's been trapped inside the crystal, but how?
No, she passed on 4 years ago. This is impossible.
And there he is behind the pillar again. A lovely surprise, isn't it?
Ugh.
The king immediately moves to stand in front of me. Sir Mithros saunters toward us with a wide smile on his face, looking unperturbed. Isn't she exquisite? Even in slumber, she is still so beautiful.
What is the meaning of this, Mithros?
When Mithros does not answer, the king reaches for his knife and frowns.
What exactly are you and Alcaster planning?
I am offended that you are associating the two of us. My goals are different from Alcaster's. My only wish is to see my queen again. Alcaster is the one who is after your throne. What are you going to do with Mother? I plan to revive her. What? I stare at Sir Mithros, shocked. Revive Mother? Is it even possible to bring back the dead? She is still alive, dear princess. My queen is only sleeping. Her link to the Tenebrarum has allowed her to survive all of these years. She infused the last of her power with the crystal and merged with it. She was wise. Yet even as its light grows dimmer, so too does the light of her life come close to being extinguished. Once you have fully accepted your role as the new bearer of the Crystallum Tenebrarum, her link with it will be severed, and she will die. Oh, so we murdered Mom like 3 times in other routes? That's why I need you, princess. I need your powers to bring her back to life. What? On your 18th birthday, you will inherit the crystal's powers, and with that power you will revive my queen. Isn't that what you... Oh, sorry. Isn't this what you've always wanted? To have your beloved mother back? It is true that I have always wished for Mother to come back. But Delora and Parfait told me the truth, and now that is the last thing that I want. What if Mother ruins the kingdom once again?
I will not let that happen. I will not let my kingdom fall into darkness again.
The king charges towards Sir Mithras with a knife in his hand. Oh boy. But Sir Mithras easily sends him flying backward with a flick of his wrist and a magic spell. The knife falls to the ground just a few feet from where I stand. Your Majesty! I'm about to run to him when Varg steps out of the darkness of the room and points a sword at the king's throat. Dude.
Don't move, princess. Otherwise my hand might slip.
I freeze in my spot. Has he been here this whole time? He's always here. Now, princess, you have an important decision to make. Help me revive the queen and save the king, or run away and he dies.
My life is nothing compared to the lives that will be lost if Hildur is brought back. I would gladly trade my life for any of the lives she would steal.
Foolish king, You cannot gamble with your life when it is no longer in your hands. Sir Mithras growls at the king before facing me once again. He flashes a crooked smile. How about it, princess? I decline. I can't do it. I'm sorry, Dad. Wait. No, before I do that. Oh gosh, if my dad dies, this is gonna be terrible. No, Gennaro, I don't want you to die. Oh, but they're just gonna kill him anyway. I need to decline. Make him proud. I cannot let Sir Mithras kill the king, but I cannot let him revive Mother either. If I can just improvise, I might be able to hold them, long enough for some backup to arrive. I catch a glimpse of the king's knife, which is just a few feet from me, when an idea strikes me. Go on. Waltz, Parfait, Delora. They have to come for us. I refuse. What? Sir Mithras looks at me, irritated. The king, however, looks relieved. The king's blood shall be on your hands, then. Varg. I quickly lean down to pick up the knife and hold it to my neck. Oh, we're turning Varg's trick back on him! Where did we learn that from? Princess, what are you planning to do with that? Put that down before you hurt yourself. Let the king go, or I will kill myself. I know you need me to revive Mother. Ha! Do not take me for a fool, princess. I know you do not have the courage to die a martyr. Annoyance simmers within me. Oh, are you sure of that? I swallow as I press the blade to my neck. I feel the sharp edge cut through skin, but the blade does not go deep enough to hit any vital parts. I cringe as my body is racked with pain and tears blur my vision. I'm scared. You fool! Sir Mithras' face is pale as he attempts to step toward me. Now you see my resolve. Let the king go. Mithras. Mithras curses under his breath, his outstretched hand clenching into a tight fist before he draws it back. It's working. I feel myself relax, but my hope is short-lived and foolish. Darn it! Mithras casts a spell and the knife goes hot in my hand. Ah! A scream escapes my mouth as I fall to the floor and clutch at my injured hand. You have been a very bad princess. Your mother would be disappointed in you. I glare at Mithras, but he only clicks his tongue, face stern. This would have been so much more pleasant if you'd chosen to work with me, princess. I will get what I want, princess. Even if I must break you to revive my queen, I will do it. I will suffer the consequences for it later. Mithras turns to Varg. Varg, put them both in the cells. I take a few steps back as Varg approaches us. All I manage to do is back myself into the wall. Varg looks at me amused, like a cat toying with a mouse. He takes another step, but I do not get to see the movements he makes afterward. Hey. A bright light engulfs the area, eliciting an agitated hiss from Mithras. Magic? But how? When the light clears, Varg is still standing, his eyes on my feet. I follow his gaze. Oh! Was that my good deed? Whoa! I got my slippers! My shoes have been replaced with 2 beautiful glass slippers. We did it! We actually didn't have to wait for our birthday. Which means the king will remember me now. Oh, snap. I broke my curse? What did I do? The king looks at me, his eyes hazy. He opens his mouth to speak, but then stops when Mithras comes to hover just above him, his expression fixed into a glare. Oh, how charming. But your broken curse will not help you now, princess. Now, be a good girl and allow Varg to escort you to your cell. Okay. Varg takes us to one of the prison cells and locks us up. Varg looked a little perturbed by the fact that we broke our curse. I wonder if that will play in at all.
This time, be a good girl and don't try to escape.
I scowl at him. He only smirks in response.
Feisty as always.
He flashes me a lopsided smile before taking his leave.
Lucette,
The king quickly takes my hand in his and pulls me down to the floor to sit beside him. He reaches into his pocket, then withdraws a handkerchief. What is he doing? He neatly folds the cloth and leans toward me. I cringe back on reflex. He gingerly presses the handkerchief onto my injured skin. I cringe as I feel the pain. Aw.
I am so sorry, Lucette. Your injury is my fault.
You have nothing to apologize for. I did it to save you, and yet here we are. I am the one that owes you an apology. I turn my gaze away in shame. The king cups my cheek and turns my head so that I am facing him. The gesture is so gentle it moves me to tears. Ah, I'm gonna cry probably.
A father should be the one to protect his child. Always.
His face is twisted in pain as he stares at me, eyes brimming with tears. I see the recognition in his eyes. Having reunited with my father like this makes me realize that I still cared for him.
Please forgive me.
I already have. The words take a great weight off my heart. It is as if the ice that has been shrouding it for so long is finally melting away. Wow. Without another word, my father throws his arms around me, trapping me in a warm embrace. This is the first time he has ever hugged me. Aw. Why don't we get a picture of this? I would like one. I feel tears brimming in my eyes, and soon I am crying as I bury my face into my father's shoulder.
I am sorry. Please forgive me, my dear daughter.
We stay like this for what seems a lifetime, leaning against each other and crying, silently asking for forgiveness. You guys are breaking my heart. I'm fine. There's just ninjas in the cell next door chopping onions, I swear. Oh, once we are more relaxed, I sit down beside my father and tell him what has transpired since I was cursed. His expression becomes darker with every word that I speak.
You have suffered so much, and I have not been able to ease that suffering in any way.
No, my life as a commoner showed me things I had never appreciated before. It was more fulfilling than my life in the palace. The moment I became cursed might be the first moment I started truly living. I contemplate the question that has been in my heart all this time. Your Majesty, have you ever loved me? I'm terrified, but still I force myself to look right at the king.
I have always loved you, Lucette. I value you more than my own life. You are my everything, my daughter.
I blink at him, my eyes filled with tears. I've waited so long to hear those words from you. If you loved me, why were you not there for me? Why did you let Mother do this to me? Was it because I was her daughter?
It is true that you are her daughter. But you are also mine. I don't even remember how we...
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, with all the hate you had, how did you, like, do the thing that's necessary to have kids? Exactly. Magic, I guess. Hey. His voice trails off and he avoids my eyes.
I was put under a spell that night. Months later, you came along. I thought I could never bring myself to love you, not when you were the witch's daughter. But you were different. She was darkness, and you were light. And then she corrupted you. Hildur forbade me to get close to you. She was afraid that I would influence you to betray her. She told me that she would steal you away completely if I ever approached you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing my own daughter, so I did as she demanded. I had to watch you grow up from afar. I had to push you away. The only thing I could do for you was help you celebrate your birthday every year.
The birthday surprises every year. The letters that led to the secret birthday rooms. Those surprises were always the highlight of my birthday. This whole time. It was you who planned those surprises? Aw, she thought her mom did it all this time, but it was her dad. Oh no.
I could not let you know that it was I who planned those surprises. The beautiful smile that you had on your face when you saw all of your gifts was more than enough. I'm really sorry for everything, Lucette. For not being a good father. For not being there for you. For pushing you away. After your mother died...
He pauses and shakes his head.
After I had thought she died, I thought I might make it up to you. But I failed miserably as your father. You were already so far away from me. I tried to get close to you, but...
I drove you away.
I do not blame you.
I think back to all those times when he tried to talk to me or approach me. I would always walk away or refuse to talk to him. Because I hated him. I was convinced he didn't love me.
I tried. But I tried too late and not hard enough. I should have tried to better understand you. I should have tried harder to see what your mother had done to you. I have never expected any sort of forgiveness, and yet you still gave it to me. But now I am at a loss as to what I can do to make it up to you.
But you're here now, right? I smile at him hesitantly, and he smiles back. He leans forward to place a kiss on my forehead, even as he wipes a tear away. Oh gosh, this was like such a leap. There was so much leaps of father-daughter relationship mending. Ugh.
I love you, Lucette.
I love you too, Father. He rests his hand on my cheek.
Allow me to make it up to you. Allow me to protect you. You cannot bring her back, Lucette. There would be too many consequences.
But if I refuse to help them, they will kill you. Father shakes his head and smiles.
If I have to give up my life to give you and our kingdom a brighter future, then so be it.
I wonder how much of that Varg listened to.
Princess, it's almost time to go.
Father moves to stand in front of me.
I won't let you take her.
Varg doesn't answer. He silently taps his cane to the ground, creating the same energy force as before, sending Father back into the wall with an invisible force. I'm shocked that you don't have irreparable back damage at this point. Good grief. Father! Father staggers back to his feet and gazes at me with a pained expression.
Don't do this, Lucette.
I ball my hands into tight fists. I have no other choice. I'm sorry, Father, but I cannot let them kill you. I try to smile at him reassuringly before walking away with Varg. The last thing I hear is him calling my name before Varg closes the door and there is silence in the hallway. I am once again standing in front of Mother's crystallized form. It's time, Princess. Now, put your hands over the crystal. I stare at my mother's crystallized form in silence, but fear takes hold of my body. Time is of the essence, Princess. I do as commanded and set my hands on the surface of the crystal. Here we go again. Moments later, the clock strikes 12 and my body suddenly grows heavy. A strange power begins to flow through me. What is happening? I attempt to pull my hands away, but to no avail. Not only are they heavy, but they feel as if they are glued to the crystal. Even as I struggle to move, I feel my energy dimming as the crystal grows brighter and brighter. Yes. Yes! I blink a few times as tears begin to sting my eyes. I bite my lip in an attempt to keep myself from falling unconscious, and the effort only makes me taste blood. Oh, thank you. Waltz! Finally!
Lucette!
Whoa! Was that your portal? Oh, it's a door. Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch a glimpse of Waltz by the door, his hand glowing as he prepares to cast a spell. Waltz. Waltz's eyes meet mine, his expression contorting in anger as he turns to glare at Mithras.
This is madness, Myth.
You're too late, Waltz. Just a little bit more and the energy transfer will be complete. And my queen will be free from her prison.
Ugh. I won't let you do this.
Waltz releases his spell at Mithras, who quickly conjures a shield to protect himself. I feel so weak. I feel my knees giving out. The next thing I know, Waltz stands beside me with a dagger. Ow. He drives the edge of the dagger into the tenebrarum surface, cracking it slightly. And then I am free. Waltz catches me in his arms just before my body hits the floor.
Stay with me, Lucette.
My body relaxes when I feel his arms around me. What took you so long? I squint up at his face, but his features are blurry. I have to blink a few times to clear my vision. I knew you'd come back.
Thank you for trusting me.
Yeah.
I will always come back for you, no matter the risks.
Thank you.
Don't speak, Princess. Save your strength.
How did you get in here? Oh. Is that Parfait? Whoa! What? It looks like we made it just in time. Parfait steps through a hole in the wall that her outbursts of magic created. She looks solemn. You. How dare you show your face here? You, who tried to kill my beloved queen. Kill? Mithras raises his hand to cast a spell, but Parfait quickly freezes him in place with a flick of her wrist. I am surprised, but then I realize that Parfait is the Lucis bearer. Even in her weakened state, it seems she is a force to be reckoned with. She turns to face me with a weak smile on her face. As the bearer of the Crystallum Lucis, it is my duty to stop Hildur. Such was my goal, even back then. Even when the two of us were dear friends. While Parfait is speaking, Varg slowly moves forward with his cane. He seems just about ready to bring it down to the ground when Parfait turns in place and casts a spell. Oh, the magic hits the cane head-on, shattering it on impact. Well, that's unfortunate. Varg, however, seems surprisingly calm. Ah, my cane is broken.
It's a good thing that wasn't the only weapon I had, huh?
Varg suddenly charges toward Parfait. Something silver and sharp glints in his hand. Oh boy. That's a lot of spells you're casting, girl. Parfait doesn't even move as she casts another spell, knocking Varg back against the wall. The knife in his hand clatters to the ground. Varg staggers back to his feet. The mask covering his eyes falls from his face as he stands. When he looks up, I feel my blood turn cold. Fritz? Varg wags his finger at me, his smile crooked. Darn it, Varg.
Maybe I look like him a little. But you can't seriously think we're the same person, can you?
I clutch Waltz's shirt between my fingers as I stare. Everything begins to feel hazy once again. What is going on?
Lucette. Lucette!
I hear my father before I see him. When I turn, he is limping toward us with a pained expression on his face. I can only assume that he somehow made it out of his cell, or that someone helped him out. Waltz's arm is still there to support me as I walk toward my father. Father reaches out to touch both of my cheeks. His warmth makes me flinch.
You are cold.
I will be fine. Father clenches his fist and turns to Mithras.
It's over now, Mithras.
Not quite. A bright light suddenly surrounds the tenebrarum, and the whole room is engulfed in white. I should have killed you a long time ago, dear Gennaro. Yeah. Oh no! Mother, I will kill you myself. I swear.
Ugh!
Father! I'm unable to see what has happened, but as soon as the light disappears, I see what horror has happened before me. Ugh! I scream when I spot the large gash in my father's chest. Blood pours from a wound from a blade of light. I catch my father in my arms as he stumbles back. Waltz quickly comes to stand beside me to help support him. Father! Now this kingdom is mine once again. The voice is familiar, but distantly so. It is a voice from my memories. I look up and suddenly, there she is, the worst person on the planet. My mother stands before me, beautiful and regal. Her eyes are cold, lacking any kind of love as she looks over at me. Lucette. Welcome back, my queen. Mithros, who has somehow managed to escape from Parfait, is now down on one knee before Mother. Hildur. Hello, dear Fae. It's been a while. Parfait puts a hand to her chest as she begins to cough. She collapses to her knees. You have grown weaker since we last fought.
Lady Parfait.
Mother's eyes snap to Waltz and narrow.
I see that the traitor is here too. I also see that you've managed to reunite with my daughter.
Mother flicks her wrist as she casts her spell.
You will pay for what you did to me. Step back!
Parfait quickly steps in front of us, and an invisible barrier appears just as Mother conjures a series of sharp ice projectiles. They bounce harmlessly off the shield, but I can feel the rumble in the ground as they tumble down to the floor. Parfait! Parfait is still kneeling on the ground. Now I can see blood on her lips.
Lucette.
I look down at my father. His shirt is soaked with blood, but his eyes are still barely open. Father! I feel tears brimming in my eyes. What is happening? There's so many spells flying around. The room fills with light, this time emanating from the floor. Slowly our surroundings begin to blur.
Go then. Run away, Parfait. That's all you have ever done.
Parfait's voice is pressed and pained as she speaks.
We will stop you, Hildur.
The last thing I see is Mother's wicked smile. Then the light swallows us whole.